We just read in the class, the reason for hiding provisions in corners of the earth and building a distraction was to escape from inertia and mental fatigue. Is that right? The biggest reason for that mental fatigue is said to be the smallness of the goals. So worthless goals wear down a person's spirit. You see it around, right? Well, my friend, you have everything. Why did you fall into this trouble? Why are you wandering around just because your spirit is exhausted? Well, I reached them. Their pleasure has ended. Since the pleasure of the body is momentary, that is, my body has to touch the coffee at that moment in order to enjoy it, the pleasure of the soul is timeless and fades away when the animal pleasures. Reach it. Since the pleasure of the body is animalistic, meaning it's momentary, my tongue needs to touch it for it to give pleasure to my body. The pleasure of the soul is timeless, meaning that the coffee I drank with you a year ago can still give me pleasure right now. If I can derive that pleasure from the soul, so until the pleasure of the body is reached. I mean, until you reach those small goals. What are those small goals? Holdings, moldings? These are all small goals. We got the red one. Small goal. You can't feel its taste in your throat, can you? Look, is that so? Oh my God. So what happens after these small goals are reached? It's exhausting the soul because it doesn't give pleasure. Now, there's someone you pay a salary of 5,000 TL. If you lower this guy's salary to 1,000 TL, meaning if you lower the goal he can reach, will his morale drop? He gets exhausted, right? He gets exhausted, but it's the same job physically. So it's not the body that's getting tired. Where is this guy tired? His soul is tired because the work he does is the same. Oh my God. If you raise the salary of a guy who earns 5,000 to 50,000, there wouldn't be any tiredness left. Will it stay, Mehmet Khan, if we had a friend who earns 5,000 and you give him 50,000? Would he say, should I also sweep these areas? Oh my God. There wouldn't be any tiredness left. So, as the goal gets bigger, meaning as the target to be reached gets larger, the struggles, troubles, and worries all decrease. Oh my God. Thus the fatigue of the soul disappears. If a person's soul is constantly exhausted and gets stuck on small goals, the fatigue of the soul is enough for hopelessness. Hopelessness is enough for the soul's distress. The distress of the soul is enough for immorality, indulgence, not caring about what one does, and being unable to see the grave. They ended up in taverns with the troubles that arose from the lack of nourishment and duty of the heart and soul, says Master Rahimullah. Did you understand? Look at what the distress of the soul leads to. Oh my God. So what is the remedy for overcoming the fatigue of the soul? The aim is a dream? To break free from the small goals of the world and dream of infinite youth. Is that so? Look, the beard has turned gray. Isn't the dream of infinite youth so sweet? To experience that beautiful infinity with all your friends, loved ones, and close ones, and also youth. Even sleeping has no trouble. Even stretching has no fatigue. Look, we're sitting here, our backs hurt, we put a hot water bottle on it. Not even this, there's nothing at all. So it means we need to keep the goal here. What keeps a person alive is having a high and great aim for their dream. The name of our madrasa comes from the aim of the dream. You know that, right? His Excellency the Master's sentence. If it is not a dream, it is a big dream. If it is forgotten or neglected or lived as if it doesn't exist, the small goals take on a very large ego and wander around it. He says, we said, let our aim of the dream be our dream house. The name of our madrasa comes from there. Did I manage to explain what I wanted to say? I mean, try to avoid dying in bed. Believe me, you know, many of our friends were here when we established the madrasa. We are childhood friends. While we were sitting and having tea, we said, what's the way to avoid dying in bed? We went, and by God's grace, we said, let's put a kettle on that little madrasa on top of the kebab shop. Well, we said, let's read the Risale-i-Nur. What's the harm in that? We don't want to talk about that match outside, you know, whatever. We don't want that, my friend. That's how our spirit is. It's not about the food. The topic has come to this point. We don't know how the topic came up. We only took inspiration from our master Khalid ibn al-Walid. Oh Allah, may you be eternally and always pleased with them. What kind of city have they opened? What do you mean, memory save? How not to die in bed, avoid dying in inertia. We said, let's not die in this bed. We said we don't want to die in the torment of inertia. So what should we do? Then let's stand up. A tiny madrasa on top of the kebab shop in Posku. God Almighty granted it.